Good morning, everyone. Not a bad day for us in the crypto trenches. We can see all of the majors are up. Solana has reset so far, but it was up 10% yesterday, which is just so ideal for our environment. Memes didn't die. They're actually still pretty strong. We're getting some good moves, and some good tokens are waking up again. Good tokens. Basically, I'm just talking about the tokens that I'm actually in. But we can go over some of the recent plays. I'm actually still pretty deep in Wabi Sabi. This thing has actually been doing pretty good in terms of fees. This was a pool that I let go out of range, but I was confident in this token, so I ended up keeping it. Not something I normally do, not something I would even advise, but with that being said, it doesn't seem to be working too bad right now. So, I'm going to stick with my thesis on this. It kind of reminds me of a FOB play. Obviously, low-key TikTok, kind of a sleeper, not much volume. But hopefully we're going to see it wake up, and that's the play on that. I've been trying to gear towards a lot of those plays recently. They're a lot more risky, to be honest, but they seem to be paying off, and I think I have a decent 50 cent still wants his best back. What's up, SDE? It's been a while, bro. Jeez, man. Stevie, obviously, but I just say STE. I think is a good name for you. Something smells super, super odd in my room. I'm not sure what it is. So odd. I hope nothing's like. Hopefully, there's not a chemical spill. But anyways, if you're tuning in, the only position right now that I'm really worried about is Picoyo. This is barely out of my range. But I've printed a good amount on it, as you can see. So regardless, I am in profit on here. But it would be very, very ideal if we can get a nice pump, because I got a little bit greedy on this one. I definitely should have just sold at this spike, especially when I saw it have this spike. I stayed in. This is probably where I should have gotten out, or at least taken some profit, secured some profit at this level when I saw it wasn't breaking up higher. So now we're not in a great position on this one. But at least we've made over 100% of our position, so we can just kind of chill. What's your opinion? What's my opinion on what? Okay, sweet. Everything, all the streams are working, so we're in good shape for now. We can look at some, I guess, newer cap plays. I was hanging out on Axiom today just to see if we could catch any new runners. Doesn't really look like there's too much stuff. A lot of repeated tokens, so nothing I'm super, super interested in. Like, this has been done a million times. Sort of a Pokemon meta. I haven't seen any super, super strong Pokemon coin besides, obviously, Kabuto. And we can take a look at Kabuto. It had this major move yesterday, and now it's kind of fading down. So, honestly, on stream last night, I said I probably wouldn't be pulling it here. But it's probably not a bad idea if you set something up. I'd probably go to 1 mil. You can go tighter. As you can see, it went up to 12. It's down 50%. So if you set up a 50% range from up here, you're not in good shape, which is why I always advise to go wider. What's up, Noah? What's your Christmas? What's up, Apollo? Thank you, Apollo. I swear you've been in the stream before, so thank you for tuning in. You're the only Twitter viewer or X viewer. Christmas plans? Nothing intense. Nothing intense. I am traveling to the Breakpoint. I'm going to Solana conference and the Meteor conference in Abu Dhabi in like 5 days. So I'm going to be gone for like a week doing that. And then I'm going to come back. Hopefully go on like a hunting trip with my dad before then. Not that I hunt. I actually find hunting to be kind of boring, but it's what he likes to do. So gonna do that, hang out with the fam. That's about it. Maybe we can get like a ski trip in, but there's a lot of stuff, and I'm really trying to every single free night. Sometimes I really don't want to stream, but it's like I need to get in the hours because it's gonna be so busy this month. What soul did you start with? Technically, I started with 1.5. You've always wanted to do ski trip. Why haven't you gone? No, are you not in a state that allows it? I almost doxed my location, but I'm like, I'm good. I mean, I'm East Coast, so like the mountains over here are ass. Hunting's boring until you get a nice one. Yeah, you're probably right. Like I grew up doing all that stuff. Um, like I shot a squirrel when I was pretty young, and then I got my first deer. Um, but I was just like so restless as a kid. I would like it more, and I always liked dove hunting too. Yeah, I started this wallet with 1.5 on August 1st of last year. And I got up to 160 last week. Last week on Monday, I think I was at 160, and then I took some losses. I took a loss on Clout. I think I went over that yesterday. Just a terrible, terrible play, bad discipline on me. Should have taken a way smaller loss. Obviously, I would have taken a loss, but I let it get really ugly, so that's on me. Crime XBT with Santa hat, with Santa hat, of course. What's up, Joe? What you been doing? I tried launching 2 tokens today and they did not work. But yeah, we're chipping back to 160 because, like I said, I got wrecked on that one token. Not proud of it at all. But I thought it had good lore, and it got vamped, and I was like not paying attention, so probably could be at like 166 right now or something. I round tripped 20 bands. Gosh. Yeah, I saw you sending me like the screenshots of the PNLs, and I was like, whoa, you're going in with some size. That's crazy. Not me. I've honestly I've been kind of AFK. I've been still pulling stuff, but like I sat on Axiom today too, looking for stuff, but not too much out there today. Didn't seem. I played a short pool on like Taxilus. That was a USD one pair. I've skied one time, but it was with my mom. Learned it quick since I played hockey. Damn, that's hype. Yeah, I figured I was never great at ice skating, but I feel like it would translate really well. I've actually never skied. I've only snowboarded, but I've always wanted to try skiing. I've had like a ton of dreams where I'm skiing in the dream and like I'm super good. Like I had a dream where I did like a 360 on skis and it was so hype. Wait, can you check the Toby market cap, please? Don't you have any good filters for migrated? Not really. STE. I'm kind of an Axiom noob still. Like I'll look at new pairs, but it's been so dry. I really just look at the migrated pairs. The migrated pairs are really the only thing I care about as a DLMMer because I'm not good at buying new pairs, and these are some coins that I can still get some action on and benefit from seeing it early. But yeah, normally nothing too fancy on Axiom. So I'm gonna look at some of these tokens for you guys. Can you clarify what you do? Yes, let me get into it in 1 second. I'll look at these tokens and we can go over it. Mm. It seemed. What's the lore on it? I don't get it. Why is it super bundled? What's good with this? It's a launch pad? I know it's launched on. Where's the tokenomics? I don't see it. Supply 10 bill. I don't see it. I mean, the website seems to be built out pretty well. I mean, you could probably do it pretty fast. You could probably make this pretty fast if you knew what you're doing, but I mean, definitely a little bit more advanced. I don't understand why there's a 77% cluster here, though. That's the only thing that's worrying me. Obviously, very bundled, but if for some reason it has like some narrative, I don't know what it would be. I don't know. I mean, probably not something I'm gonna touch personally. It's just not my play. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the meme is, but I don't know. I probably wouldn't touch it. That's just me. It could go up. Doesn't seem like they're rugging it yet, so crime time. I want to go to Crested Butte. What is that? Colorado. I went to Breckenridge last year. Sorry guys, little bit of a intermission while we check out the trail maps. Looks pretty sick to me. These are all double blacks, yeah. I was gonna say this part looks fun, but actually on second thought, I'm not going there. I don't like going down the super steep stuff. I like on these like green and blue runs, the little like side hits, some blacks obviously. But if there's side hits on these, I just like chill speed and then nice little side hits is what I go for. ChatGPT, it's fake, it's reused X. For Tada, I upped Peepo. I saw Peepo on the homepage. STE is like, bro, you're a bot. Peepo. Oh, nah, I thought Pepin was the one you were talking about. Peepo, I'm not sure what that is. There's one other ticket we're supposed to look at. What was it? What was it? Pog. Absolute Pumped turned into collabing with Energy Drink Company. Seen it all at 65K. Which one are you talking about? This one? I assume it's this one, right? This is actually kind of interesting. This doesn't look awful, you know? And it's pretty new on the 29th of November. Let's see if there's a pool on it. This actually is not looking terrible. And honestly, Pog has been done before a million times, but like, pretty good ticker name, in my opinion. There is no pool, unfortunately. That's so annoying. I kind of like this chart, no? Sorry. Liquidity. Who was asking? Wampa, are you still here? Let me know if you're still here. I can go over liquidity for you. Yeah, I really would like to go out west again. But I'm East Coast, so it's like a hassle. I have to like transport this stuff through the airport. And then the last time I went there was just like an L. The weather was an L. My friend got hurt first day. It was just not fun. I found like no powder. It was fun, don't get me wrong, but maybe I was just a noob and I didn't know where to navigate. That could have been part of it too. What else are we looking at, fellas? Peepo. I'm redoing my bin step explanation tonight. Because I got the clip back and I did not like how I was explaining it. It's kind of hard. I think I can do it though. I just need to set it up before explaining. What am I doing? I want to look for a pool on this one too. There's a pool on this one. Mad, you're in this? There's a good amount of buy-side liquidity, to be honest. Let's check out the whole curve. Ooh, they have it stacked pretty low. Oh, they have a lot of upside liquidity though. That's not a terrible thing, honestly. Is trading your full time? Yes, it is. Not really by choice, to be honest, but I have enough to survive, so. What's the lore here, man? Is it just frog meme? Let's see how the Pepin chart looks. If this thing looks legit, then I have less conviction. Oh no, it's a completely farm chart. Okay. Checks out then. Isn't 100 bin step equal 1%? Let's check. So each price increment on the 100 bin step, each bin is going to be 1%, 2%, 3%. Yes, you are right. It's actually a really good way to describe it. But I feel like getting down here, right, it's going to change up. Yeah, it gets smaller. Each bin gets smaller as you go down. So it's 3.5 to... So this jump to this jump is now 0.6%, which is interesting. I mean, that makes sense because of the exponential decay. But let's see how it works going on the upside. 1%, 2%. So it does kind of the same curve. It keeps adding up a little bit more each time. Okay, we can simplify that when we go over it. What's up, Strikeo? How's your day, bro? Procrastinated the homework again. Is there anything new? Is there anything new with you, Strikeo, or are you still procrastinating every night? Honestly, not insane lore, but it's a popular Twitch thing. I don't know, people have been bidding, so I aped. I kind of want to join you. I'm probably not going to throw too much size on this one, but like the good thing is people have bought out the bins so hard that we can go pretty low on this. We can easily get... Oh, no, we can't get 87%. Never mind. Can we get 85? No, we can't get 85. Alright, never mind. We can make some sort of range here, though, to make it work. Jeez, man. $70%? Okay, I'm going to put in 3 soul on that one, then. Pass my Spanish test? Nice. Why were you stressing about the Spanish test if you knew you were going to pass it? There's no way you're like, oh, I might not pass, and then you get 100. You definitely had to have known everything, right? Mom just came out and yapped at me for nothing. That's probably because you haven't done your homework. Anyways, let's keep taking a look. This is something I really don't want to sleep on. We're getting really close to cutting this loss. Not this loss, but cutting this position. It's actually in profit, technically, here. Kabuto's still doing its thing. G-Boy's gone. I kind of saw that coming. This was getting shilled in my chat the past like week or so by this one guy. And honestly, I put in a DLMM here, and it went out of range, and I just withdrew it. And I was like, honestly, I'm just gonna hold this spot, which I normally don't do. But this chart looks pretty legit to me. It seems pretty organic, and the meme is pretty good. I don't remember Uganda token running, so not bad, not bad. And honestly, just it's one of those rare examples of a chart that it looks so good that I'm just gonna bid it. What's up, Mark? It's been a minute, bro. Later bomb bought Uganda. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Do you know the way? Strikey, I can't get on. I can't get on Nasdaq. It's so bad. I can't do it. It's just not me. You know when they say at every point in a trader's journey, they just say find what you're good at and stick to that. I think I found what I'm good at, and I think I found what I'm not good at. Where were you? Where were you on vacation, Mark? Why'd you even open an account? I don't know. I didn't even touch it. I think I just wasted like $200 because I bought the account and I traded. I probably took like 5 trades. Maui, damn. I want to go back to Hawaii. I went there when I was like 7 years old, and I still remember very, very vivid memories of Hawaii. But I always like botanical, like gardens and stuff like that. I thought like the tropical plants were super cool. I know that's kind of like nerdy, but I remember I remember vividly in my head. I was in this car for a minute after we had landed at the airport, drove to the resort or whatever. I stepped out of the car, I had bare feet on. I stepped in the grass. It literally felt like memory foam. And the grass was such like a lush green, and I just like will always hold on to that memory, like stepping in the grass, and it's just like the softest thing ever. It was so sick. It's nice. It was my 3rd time. That's sick. Yeah, there's not too much new stuff. Pog. I wish there's a pool on this. I would actually bid this if there's a pool. I don't think there's one at all, unfortunately. There's a dynamic pool in it. For some reason, there's a lot of TVL in the dynamic pool. It's kind of weird. I mean, there's no way it's getting that much. There's no way it's getting that much volume. I don't think. The hell? Am I tripping here, man? Okay, we're gonna have to force it. I don't know what kind of pool this is. Sorry, I'm trying to this way to find this pool. There it is. Why was it so hard to find? Nice new hat. You like it? What mountain was that? Did you see Chart Guys today? I did not. I did not see that. It was something Mark was telling me. I mean, Noah was telling me about. He said he wanted to go to this mountain, so I pulled up the ski map. Looks pretty savage, but it looks like a nice mountain. Nice rounded off. I've never hiked up to one of these peaks. Also, I've only been out west once, and my friends didn't want to do that, so I wasn't going to go do it solo. But I just want to hike somewhere to find like fresh powder, because I still have not experienced that. There was like one run out there that was like relatively untouched, and that's all that I got. I'm doing a launch in mid-December. I can share details closer to date. For sure, for sure. What were we looking at before? Oh yeah, the dynamic pool. 1400 in liquidity in here. And is it giving us a 24-hour fee? Why is it not giving us a 24-hour fee? It says 0. Is that true? I'm gonna see when whoever got in this pool opened it. I'm actually curious now. So if for some reason there's a pool, have you been at 155 Sol for a bit? I haven't tuned in for like a week. I was at 160 around this time last week. Took a loss, went down to 150, and now we're back at 155. Go to Aspen. I feel like my friends went to Aspen. I feel like it's Aspen's more for like skiers. I don't know. I could be wrong there, but they said it was like super super expensive, and that's the only reason I don't think I would go there yet. Dynamic V2 no is really only viable if it's a newer token. Um, You can get like really crazy fee generation if it's a brand new token and it's getting a ton of volume, but other than that, it's usually not super ideal. I mean, wait, it's getting volume in here. I don't understand. It's just not get. It's saying the 24-hour fee is 0, but it's not getting that terrible of volume, to be honest. You know. What am I doing? I want to see who joined this. This guy added some liquidity. This guy added even more. Really didn't show me much. It's kind of a dead wallet. I don't know. Interesting. I wish there was a DLMM on this. This would be so ideal. Did you get the airdrop yet? Yes, I did, Mark. Damn, Mark. No way it's been that long. I got the airdrop like November or October something. It's good. It's good for both. He snowboards a little when he goes there. Isn't there people you can track that do the same as you too? Why they add liquidity too? Yes, you can track. You can track wallets for DLMM. I personally don't. Um, I feel like if they're, I mean, it wouldn't be not. It wouldn't be detrimental to do that. I'm just too lazy, and I normally don't like I don't try to be in every token, so I just kind of have a more relaxed way to find tokens. If I come across them, then I'll get into them if I like them. But in terms of like following wallets, I don't do that personally. I had friends that were trying to get more into tracking wallets and setting up copy DLMMs, but it gets really hard because I feel like those tools don't necessarily replicate the same size and stuff, and they're not going to be able to. Sometimes they falter on taking losses. So, like, really, in my opinion, you should be doing everything yourself. It's nice because it uses the vault system if there are a lot of dynamic pools. I'm not sure, not entirely sure what you mean by that. I've got like 500 tracked wallets on Axiom, but most of them just blast new pairs. Yeah. My friend Joe gave me a bunch of wallets to follow, and that's all I really look at. But I really don't track that stuff on my plays unless it's like a new token. If it's a new token, obviously I do care about who's in it and who hasn't sold yet. But in terms of longer term, I'm usually not using that as any sort of indication. Maybe I should be, but I'm shocked that someone blasted Uganda. I mean, that guy was shilling in your heart, and this token does look good. I'm not gonna lie. Well, welcome back, Mark. Thank you for tuning back in. Same thing. Nothing has really changed. We're literally doing the same thing every single day. So I'm trying to find decent wallets that buy and hold decent ones. Yeah, that actually probably isn't a bad. My friend's software Stockchain has a pretty nifty software for tracking some of these wallets. Actually, I don't use this all that much. I probably should, but you can see, um, just gives you a lot. We can see what Busy's in. Oh, maybe we can't. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the software, but this is a good tool for tracking wallets. Yeah, Fartcoin is Fartcoin catching a bit or something? Kabuto is still pretty strong. Neat. What is Claude? Anyone know what that is? Oh hell no. Yeah, but I guess we're just gonna hang out on Axiom for now and see if anything's popping. I'd honestly like to check the Discover tab just because it shows like older tokens that are starting to trend. Been busy in the trenches in stock markets. Nice, Mark. How's it working? Claude AI. No, it was CLAWD. I don't know what this is. Yeah, I don't know what this is. I don't like it though, obviously. Habibi. Dude, there's an old Habibi coin if you guys remember. That was actually like had a very nice chart back in the day. It never had the run it should have had, to be honest, in my opinion. I never traded it, but my friend was in it and I actually liked it. Monero Chan. This thing is still running. Probably wouldn't have been a bad DLMM on this one, to be honest. It kind of went to 0. Strategy would have worked if you were bidding it super low. Like if you started bidding it like here maybe. But I mean, damn, it went to 600k, so it would have been kind of sketchy to have it. You would have had to nail that pretty perfectly, you know. Oh, Claude AI. Someone rugged it. Almost made enough money to buy a new truck. Damn. Yeah, I had enough money to buy a new car as well, but I held everything. But that's fine. That's not the goal. The goal is to still accumulate as much SOL as we can in the coming months. Pippin. I don't know. I mean, the only reason that I don't care about Pippin is because the LP, the DLMM, is not viable anymore. If you guys are in the TikTok chat, feel free to drop a follow and join the Telegram. Since we have, what is it, 17 viewers, I might as well drop that. But if you guys want to learn what we're doing, feel free to check out my TikTok and my YouTube. I have a lot of other content on there. And feel free to ask me any questions if you are looking through those and you don't know what something means. Feel free to keep scrolling down. I have more basic information towards the bottom. But like I said, if you have any specific questions, I try to get back to everyone who DMs me questions. Check LTC. Falcon Flyer, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not the one to ask in terms of new pairs. I'm definitely not that's not my area of expertise. But yeah, I saw Pippin run. Absolutely crazy move on Pippin. But it was to the point where it's such a high market cap. There's so much TVL in the DLMMs. It's just not worth it for me to get into. Do I not have LTC? Yeah, I do. Looks good to me. Looks good. Send it. This honestly might be a generational entry. Could be a generational entry on a lot of tokens, but how many times have we had red days and then green days and we're like, we're so back, and then we get wrecked again? So I don't try to time the short-term moves on these macros. As I always say, I'm just in it for the long-term thesis. So it looks good though. Looks good. Send it. How's your Thanksgiving? It was good. It was good. Visited the fam. We made some good food. There's like the past 2 years we haven't been making the same stuff we always make, but everyone pitched in and helped this year, so it was good. I actually I didn't drink too much, so I've been trying to keep myself healthy, trying to lose a little bit of weight, so you know how it goes. Trying to limit the consumption a little bit. Baby, yeah, baby is super strong. I wish I pulled this. It's okay. I'm not going to get FOMO on it, but it was one of those plays that I probably should have been taking a part in just because of the relevance and virality it had on TikTok. This is like a play that I do like to be in. So if you were in a DLMM from here, 830K to even 100K, this would have cooked very well. That would have been a very good play to be in. How's yours, Mark? What's on my bag? What you mean by that? What you mean by that? So yeah. I guess I should go over bin step here in a second. I wanted to clip it. I really hope I don't scuff it this time. Let me look at my ChatGPT explanation, and then we're going to get into a quick lesson for those. How much money have you made trading? A good amount. I don't know the exact number. Enough to live off of for now. I'm definitely not happy. Like, total net worth is like low six figures. So, not enough to be like super comfortable, to be honest, especially because I can't withdraw a lot of it due to tax reasons. So, I'll be chilling once we get to a mil, but that's like, I don't know, almost 10x from where I'm at right now. So it's gonna be a while. Definitely not close to where we want to be, but haven't done terrible so far. All right, bin step, bin step, bin step. I really need to make more videos. My mind is like so clouded recently. I swear I'm like on live, I have lower energy. Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this as concise as possible once again. Okay, so we're going for some clips here. So what is Meteora? Meteora is a platform that allows you to trade meme coins and other assets on Solana, but mostly what I use it for is meme coins. What I target usually are newer meme coins that I believe in. Why this is better than traditional trading is because Meteora allows you to be imperfect on your entries and exits. And this is because, right, when you buy traditionally, let's say I'm trading this and I buy it here. If it goes down, I'm instantly in trouble. There is no benefit of this token going down. I'm instantly exposed, I'm instantly losing money. With Meteora, it allows you to set up more of a range where you predict the price is going to stay, and allows you to profit off of volatility and price movement up and down. So let's say it's right here. What I do, my strategy 99% of the time is to set up bid side liquidity. Meteora allows you to spread whatever amount of Solana you put in. Let's say you wanted to enter this with 1 SOL. Instead of getting in 1 SOL at this red line where it is right now, Meteora breaks your 1 Solana into a bunch of different buy orders. We call them bins on Meteora. But what these allow you to do, let's say I'm going down to, I'm now at 1.1 mil, I'm now at 1.5. So I think that this token is not going to drop below 1.5 mil. As an example, I'm not saying that, but just for the sake of this example, let's say I don't think it's going to drop below 1.5 mil. So now I'm way more protected if this thing dips. Obviously, if it goes up from here, I'm not going to make anything. I'm not going to win. I'm not going to lose anything if it goes up from here. But on the flip side, I can have exposure to the token if it goes down. A lot of the time, you're not going to have the perfect entry. A lot of the time, you're not going to buy and it's going to be the lowest of the low and then goes up from there. It's just not likely. So Meteora allows you to gain fees, allows you to make money when the price goes down into your range, right? These buy orders, they get converted to sell orders, right? Because as soon as this first bin gets hit, it starts swapping the Solana in this pool to the token. When it does that, because you are the liquidity provider, by using Meteora to open these liquidity pools, you're able to get fees when the price goes in between your bins and it swaps in between the token and Solana. So when it goes down into your pool, you're going to get fees in the token, right? Because your Solana is getting converted to the token, right? Right here gets converted to the token, right? Your buy order technically gets hit, technically gets filled, your token gets swapped. Your Solana gets swapped to the token. You get a tiny percentage of fees in the token when it swaps through your pool. You're able to charge a tax through Meteora pools. So when it goes down, right, another buy order gets swapped to the token. Goes down, another buy order gets swapped to the token. When it goes down in between your bins, let's say it just goes down, you're only going to get fees in the token. When it goes up and it converts your sell orders back into Solana, you get fees in Solana. So right, when it goes down, you get fees in the token. When it goes up, you get fees in Solana. So now it goes down again, fees in token. Goes up, fees in Solana. So you want it to bounce around these bins as much as possible. Depending on how much volume, depending on how volatile the token is, depends on how much fees you get and how much activity and order flow your bins, your buy orders, your sell orders get when they're bouncing around. Theoretically, you want it to go into here and bounce around forever, give you unlimited fees, pump back up. That's the ideal situation. But Meteor is so special because you don't have to be perfect, right? If it does something like this, you're not going to get too much in fees because it's only going to hang around and get a little bit of bin activity up here. If it goes down like this, has a bunch of bin movement on the way down, you might not be in profit here. You're going to be very close to being in profit if it has this sort of bin movement. But if you get even one spike maybe up to here, you can get out for profit here. Same thing if it goes down to here. Let's say it has some bin movement here, down to here, hangs around here. If it gets one spike, you can get out. You're going to take a loss if it drops to the bottom, but if this happens, you're just going to have to take the loss and move on. But keep in mind, even if you have to do that, Meteor allows you to be, it allows you to limit risk a lot more than if you were holding it spot, right? Because even though your pool is going to depreciate as price goes down, it's not going to be as bad as if, going back to the original point, you just bought one Solana here. Now, the ideal situation, the super A+ ideal situation is it does something like this. Hangs around here, you believe in this token, and it goes up. Now, you have a bunch of fees if you haven't sold at some point down here. You have a bunch of fees unclaimed. Your one SOL that you started this pool with, as soon as it gets back above your range, your one SOL is going to be one SOL once again. These are just going to be buy orders once again if the token's over here, right? They're still going to be here. But you're going to have all of the fees from the token, and that is how we sort of are able to use Meteor, because I'm looking to usually kind of try to bottom catch and predict the range where it's going to hang out, maybe bounce back up, or maybe I'm just looking to get into it, have one spike and get out. And being able to predict this scenario is way easier than having to predict, oh, this is exactly where it's going to bottom, and then I'm going to get out. I'm going to stay in. I hope it goes up, and then I'm going to get out for profit up here. It's way harder to do this method, I promise. So that's the power of Meteora. Now, I'm going to get into bin steps in just 1 second after I look at the chat. How's the volume tonight? Not bad. What's up, Diego? What do you do after you hit the TP? So after I hit the TP, I withdraw my pool and I sell everything. I don't really have a TP. It's usually very intrinsic in my decision making. It's like very instinctual. The hard part is knowing when to get out, right? Because it's very easy to set up these ranges. I give many examples where it's basically copy and paste on a lot of these tokens, but the imperfect thing that you're gonna have to work on in the part of this that requires you to have some trading aptitude is that the exits are not always going to be perfect. You're gonna have to work on your exits, because right, imagine the token is right here and you're in profit. You could get out here for a little bit of profit, but if for some reason you have some sort of insight or instinct and you think this coin is going to bottom and go higher in the future, then you might wait and sell and try to sell up here, which is obviously more risky. You're looking for more of a home run. But if you for some reason have that insight and have that expectation, it might not be ideal to sell down here. So you can get out for profit at some of these spots in the pool, but it really comes up to you and your skill that you develop on when you get out, when you take profit, when you take your wins, how big your wins are, kind of determine upon that. But that's just something that you're gonna have to work on. And again, Meteor allows you to have a way bigger cushion on your exits. So, you know, a million times I've sold tokens too early, right? And you're never ever going to be perfect. There's been a few examples of mine where I have been very, very spot on, but it's few and far between. You're not going to always be perfect. So, Sachi coin. So Sachi coin, yes, it's strong, but it's not something that I care to use my strategy on, and I'm going to show you why. This thing has had just a steady run up. The risk reward, especially buying here, if you're buying for this token to go higher, I just don't know why you would buy at 7 mil when it ran already from 1.8 mil at the bottom down here, right? The play's kind of gone here, in my opinion, and I'm not always right, and people have different strategies than me, but personally, if I were to take part in this token, I would have wanted to do it on this first downturn. I would have been wanting to LP it right here. Because here, you can be like, okay, well, it might form another base, you know, in this range. But what if it doesn't? What if this thing cracks really hard and kind of fades off? The LP, because it's so established, because there's so much, because it's an older token, a lot of people are already in this LP. The fees aren't as good because it's super established. It's 7.7 mil market cap. Sorry, I need to write down this timestamp. 45 minutes, I think. Got drained straight from Axiom. How is that possible? What'd you do, man? Kabuto, yeah, Kabuto is strong. Do you think you can make it by the time it's over? I don't know. Hopefully. I think 400 bin is 4% range, so 2% fee would work best. I mean, it's all dependent. I don't think there's necessarily a right fee. I think going lower than 1 on newer tokens is not ideal. I think 2 to 5% is usually the sweet spot. Bro, what? How did that happen? You must have connected your wallet to something. So one thing you can do is check what apps you're connected to. I forget where you do it at. Connected apps here. So go to connected apps. If there's anything here that you don't recognize, that is most likely the culprit. Oh, it feels good to have a chill stream. Sorry, I'm trying to find a good song. I'm on a weird radio right now, but I kind of like it. We'll hit the GTA song. Do you know a website that shows transaction across all pools at the same time? GMGN maybe. Defined maybe. I think GMGN is aggregates all the orders, but I'm not entirely sure. I think it does. I don't know. You would probably know better than me, Noah. To be honest. What is a good example we could use? Maybe Picoyo. Yeah, we can use Picoyo as an example. Shows. I don't know, bro. I thought GMGN did it. Maybe not though. Back in range, it's not yet, but is stream back? Did you hear me? Empire State of Mind, banger suggestion, and we're on the radio for this song, so the song's following it should be gas. Is stream back? What's up, YF? Thank you for the clips today. I'll pay you that extra 5, by the way. Hey, Crime, I'm trying to build a platform that grades creators based on their on-chain behavior. Wait, can you... I'm trying to build a platform that grades creators let base. Thank you for the gift. You know. What coins do you have? I don't hold too much stuff. I'm in a liquidity pool for Wabi Sabi, for Rome. This is kind of a dead token. Don't pay attention to that. Santa, Fa, Doge 1. I forgot about this token. Hopefully it's not super deep. It is getting kind of deep. I'm surprised they didn't run Doge 1 up. It was that same guy who did Deej and what are the other ones? USCR, that guy. That was one of his tokens, I believe. Detective. And then we're out of range on Picoyo, so We're in a good amount of stuff. Some of that stuff is inactive, which is why I didn't go over it too much. Can we get a DeFi tuna tutorial? I need a DeFi tuna tutorial. I'm not, bro. I'm not a DeFi guy, honestly. Honestly, in terms of yield farming and looping and all that stuff, I am probably as much of a noob as anyone. For whatever reason, Meteora just clicked with me, because the thing with Meteora, the DLMMs, which is really something that I appreciate, is like you can see everything super visually when you're setting up a range, as opposed to like I can see where my liquidity is on like AMMs and dynamic pools. Like I don't really know where my liquidity is. It's kind of like you know, imaginary, and I know they have formulas for how it operates, but that's why the DLMMs are super simple to me, because I just see them all as limit orders. Finally in bed. What's up, Dave? How often do you open a DAMM pool? Pretty rare. Pretty rare. Especially because I haven't seen too many new tokens that get a ton of volume. So, yeah, it's definitely more rare that I'm doing that. Oh, there's two Daves. Dave number 2. What's up, Dave number 2? You're not actually Dave number 2, but you're the second Dave I saw in the chat. I think you can do stuff with Orca pools on there. I need to ask my friend. I always I always have it on my to-do list to just research that stuff. But also I'm just not in many stables. Just waking up, nice. What time is it for you? Yeah, it's always on my to-do list and I just never do it. I use ChatGPT sometimes to one thing, I think you guys might be deving. No, I actually tried to dev a few tokens today, but I'm such a bot. I am such a bot. 827, nice. I tried to dev. Have you guys been seeing the meme on TikTok where it's like, what's the lore behind your pin post? I tried to do a pin post meme, and it got 0 volume. I tried it twice with two different pictures. So, yeah, I'm not a good dever. I have a friend that is. Anyways, what I was saying. I was wondering how, so centralized exchanges, right? Like Binance, Kraken, Coinbase, those are all centralized exchanges. They do a ton of volume on their order books. Decentralized exchanges are what we usually are interacting with when we're trading meme coins. I was very curious, once a meme token gets listed on a centralized exchange, how the order flow influences the price. And it was actually very interesting, because I was like, well, how does one price move with the other? And basically, there are bots that are either selling on the higher price and buying on the other exchange, and they're selling, and they're automatic bots that do this. And by the R bots being there, it ensures that it brings both of these prices closer together. So that was actually pretty eye-opening to me, because I was like, I understand obviously the real price is going to get found, but I didn't understand how it worked. So that was pretty eye-opening for me. I do not rug pull, no. There are bots that do it, yep. You have a friend that uses those bots? I was looking up if it was even viable for the average person to do it, and basically it's giving me the answer of no, because like I'm pretty sure like Wintermute and the market making agencies are the ones that really run those bots, and they do 98% of the actual volume, so they kind of price out retail on that. Work is a cheap way if there isn't a DLMM. Oh, I see. But yeah, I'm surprised you guys actually know that. It took me like up until a few days ago to actually understand that. Yeah, Wintermute. Anyways, I meant to go over BinStep. So, let's do some drawing real quick. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to try to illustrate this. So what is bin step? You guys might have been seeing this. If you guys have interacted with Meteor at all, you see that there's different bin steps. It should be quite apparent to you that smaller bin steps cover smaller ranges, right? In a 20 bin pool, there's probably going to be 70 bins that cover around 12% of a coin's movement. In a 250 bin pool, usually a full range is like 80%, right? So what this means is that, think about it. To cover a range minus 20% here, minus 20%, think about it. There's going to be there's going to be 70 bins in this 20% range, right? But in the 250 bin pool, it's going to cover, let's say, minus 85%. Minus 85% range out of 70 bins. So in a 250 bin pool, you can think about it, how we talked about bins basically functioning as limit orders. In the 250 bin, on wider bin step pools, basically it just means that the liquidity is spread farther apart at different price points, right? So technically the 20 bin is always going to be more efficient routing for order flow, because let's say the price is here and it comes down in the 250 bin. This 250 bin pool, the first bin is at 5 mil, hypothetically. The next bin is at 5.51. So as soon as it gets through this range, this level, 5.8 mil, it's going to swap to the bin, right? It should swap to the bin. But you are going to have to wait until it gets to 5.5 mil for the next bin to get touched. So through this period, you're only getting one bin movement. But on the 20 bin, is going to hit way more bins on the way down. So technically, you're going to get more activity. And especially if it does something like this on the first pool, if it does something like this on the first pool, right, it goes through this price, it hangs around at 5.6, it hangs around here, you're not going to get any bin movement. Whereas in the 20 bin pool, if it hangs around here, you're going to get more bin activations. You want this because when it moves up and down, you get fees in, right? When it goes down, you get fees in the token. When it goes up, you get fees in Solana. So on a 20 bin pool, you're going to get more activity here. You're going to get more order flow in your bins. The only reason this is not ideal is because it costs more money. A single range in Meteora is like 70 bins, right? So you're going to have to pay a ton more in non-refundable SOL and in rent. So you're gonna have to pay more in non-refundable SOL and refundable SOL when you're using a 20 bin pool to cover a wide range like 250 bin, right? So the reason that you don't see 20 bins open on all of these tokens, especially newer tokens, is because it's way more inefficient to make wider ranges. It's very, very difficult, and it costs a lot of money. To make a full 87% range, it's probably going to cost you like 0.65 SOL of non-refundable SOL to achieve the same range that it might cost you 0.11 SOL to make in the 250 bin. So really, it's just capital efficiency. But technically, 20 bin is always going to be the most ideal pool to be in for getting the most order flow, because it's offering way tighter buy orders. So like we said, right, if it moves in here and is moving in between here, it's going to get more movement, as opposed to this bin, it's not going to get any movement. Hopefully that makes sense. $69 times 100. For some reason, Noah, I thought it was 69 bins, but nowadays it used to be 69, but now whenever you open positions, it's 70. I'm not sure why it is, but they changed it. So 20 bins cost more non-refundable. 20 bin costs more non-refundable if the range hasn't been paid for. So, so 20 bin is going to be more, it's going to cost more non-refundable if these ranges down here haven't been paid for. And usually, if it's a newer 20 bin pool, people don't make an 87% range in 20 bin. On something like Troll, on something like Fartcoin, all of these bins are going to be bought. You can make whatever range, and you're going to not have to worry about non-refundable. But especially on these newer tokens, it's very, very rare that someone's going to buy all of these bins. Yeah, I don't know why it does that. Yes, YF, but I just didn't like how I did it. I might have to have you edit it again. I looked at it and it was actually really good job clipping and making it concise, but I wanted to give it one more shot. Maybe I'll just keep the original, but I wanted to have it just in case. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't know why they changed it. So bins are like amount of people that are holding the coin. So not necessarily bins. So I don't know if you saw the example earlier, but Meteora, all it does is it allows you to spread your liquidity out between a range, right? And this assortment of different buy orders, the bin step determines how many individual little price points there are. On tinier bin step, it's going to split your liquidity way closer in terms of price points, right? On wider bin steps, there's going to be more spacing between. So it doesn't necessarily mean people holding it. And you said people holding the coin. I think what you meant to say is having the bins bought out means that there's more people in it. Because if it's a very popular coin, then people have most likely paid for these bin ranges down here. Because keep in mind, as soon as you get past a certain 70 bin range on Meteor, it makes you pay non-refundable if someone hasn't done it previously. But basically, what Meteor does is it allows you as an individual to split up whatever Solana, whatever liquidity, whatever buy side liquidity, whatever sell side liquidity. I'm going on a tangent. But basically, it allows you to split up your orders, and it does it for you. So now it creates this range for you. Now, if it goes in between here, there's a bunch of different technically limit orders on each side that it pays you. It charges fees on incoming order flow when it moves between these bins. A bin holds both tokens that allows for zero slippage buying and selling. Okay, I'm with you so far. Okay. Yeah, sorry. It's like, it is kind of confusing. And I try to make it make sense for for everyone. But yes, each of these bins, just think of them as limit orders. And yes, Noah is right, but I'm not sure if you took any information from that. Alright, I'm done explaining. Let's just chill and look at tokens. Yes, Wabi Sabi. Yes, 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 yes. Picoyo, please go up as well. That would actually just be amazing. Honestly, you know me. I should be learning my lesson. I should probably just be getting out of this to protect the portfolio. But I'm going to swing for the fences on this one. You create tokens or just trader on some other people's tokens? Yeah, I don't really create tokens. I've done it before. I have my stream token. That's all that I have. Ars, yes, I can teach you how to trade. I just went over a good amount of lessons. But if you drop a follow and you look through my TikTok videos, just scroll down. Towards the bottom is going to be more beginner friendly stuff. And then the recent clips are almost only talking about Meteora. Basically, the goal for this channel is to get you introduced to crypto. I've kind of faded away from the beginner stuff, unfortunately. That's just because I have a lot more people in my chat that are more advanced. So I don't focus as much on that. But if you go towards the bottom, I have a lot more introductory. The whole goal, like I said, is to introduce you to crypto. Meteora, the platform that I trade on, allows you to enter liquidity pools, and you're going to find explanations for that. But 99% of the time, I'm using Meteora, which is why I want to funnel a lot of newer users from not knowing anything about crypto to learning about meme coins, and then in turn, the final step is learning how to use Meteora to trade these tokens. And that is how I've been able to grow this 1.5 Sol account to over 150 now in over a year. A little bit over a year. I started on August 1st of last year. That's always what I advertise because obviously it's not these big flashy P&Ls you see of people hitting 1 to 100 Sol in one trade, but it is a very consistent way to trade, and I think it's very beneficial for everyone to learn if you have the patience. What is your max budget for one singular token? Usually I'm not throwing more than 6 Solana into a pool. But keep in mind, I'm not risking the whole 6 Solana usually. Technically, if it goes to 0, you're going to lose it all and you don't take your loss. But you should be able, Meteor allows you to manage it in a way that you don't have to risk all that much money. Sold the new Ethereum? I think so. JLP sold? I just don't really touch that stuff. It's just too diluted for me. I think Sol is beating Ethereum in every way. Personally, I'm not an OG, so I was never around in the Ethereum NFT days. Obviously, I was spectating, but I wasn't taking part. But coming from, I come from a stock background, trading small caps. So as soon as I got on Solana and started trading lightning fast, cheap transaction fees, I think everything in the near future is going to be built on Solana. So yes, I think it is the new Ethereum. Damn. Is it hard to learn the skill? It really depends on where you start, because if you're brand new to crypto and meme coins, you're definitely going to have a learning curve there. My channel is meant to try to get you into that stuff and get you accustomed to the terminology, the tools that we use. But if you are familiar with meme coins, it does make it a lot easier to learn this stuff. It still can be confusing, but if you stick with it, you will definitely understand. Low-key, you got a YouTube where you're going over this stuff? Yes, I do. Feel free to drop a follow, like I said, and then my link tree should have my YouTube. If for some reason you can't find it, just DM me. I'll send it to you. Are you going to make the free course? So I almost finished the free course about a week ago, and then I exited out, and for some reason on WAP it didn't save anything, so it really just killed my motivation. But yes, it is coming out, I promise. I'm going to try to get it done before I leave for the trip. You make 5 figures monthly? Not really. It really depends. I mean, I got a massive airdrop in October, so that month was outsized, so it's kind of hard to say, but usually, I mean, in November I was up like 30 SOL. I don't know what that is. Can I make like 5 grand in 3 months as a beginner? I don't know. If you're chasing a monetary goal, it's good to set this goal. Like the 1 to 100 Solana challenge was meant, but if it's like on a time horizon, you're probably not gonna. It's not gonna benefit you. One thing I don't understand is how to see the bin prices on the chart so I can pick my range better. Okay, that's actually a good comment. So Volted, give me 1 second, TikTok chat. I'm gonna go over this. Volted says, one thing I don't understand is how to see the bin prices on the chart so I could pick my range better. So I'm going to give you a quick secret on, let's just do Kabuto. So let's say you have the Kabuto CA and you have the pool pulled up. So we're going to grab the CA, we're going to go to Meteora, we're going to go to home, we're going to type in the pool, we're going to choose the one that has the most TVL, which is, right, see how this has 517k, absolutely insane amount of TVL now. So, like I said, this is not something I'm going to open. It's too diluted. It is a good token, but... So, how do you translate the bin steps to the chart? So, it's a little bit nuanced, right? Because usually you're looking in terms of market cap. So, what you can do, I'm going to show you 2 methods, actually. If you want to know the exact price range, just go up here, switch it to price, and switch it to SOL. This is going to make it so the chart corresponds perfectly to your range, right? 4203, and the current price is 426. So it's not completely accurate, but it's basically the same. Now, let's say you want to go to an 87% range, which is what I tell a lot of newer people to use. Sorry, let me restart this. 87% range, right? Go to 87% range. Now you're going to see 052 to 42, right? 052 to 42. Now we're going to map that out on the chart. It's actually very low. Wait, is it all the way down here? Yes, it actually is. So this is the range, right? Now you can see before you enter the pool what your range is going to end up looking like, right? So this is ideal in a way. If you are making your range, then you can just look at the price, the lowest price, and adjust it accordingly. Now another way to do it, if you want to go on market cap and you are predicting a range, if you wanted to, in turn, draw your lines on the chart first, let's take this recent low, just as an example for where we'd want to go, right? It's at 6 mil. Now what you can do is go over here, click this little sidebar, go to price range, current price, down to here. It's going to show you the exact range. So this is minus 66%. So if you wanted to replicate this range, just go here and go minus 66% range. You're going to accomplish that range based on the lines you drew. Does that make sense? We're kind of farming some timestamps this stream. I appreciate the questions, guys. It actually really helps me out with producing content. Volta, did that help? Did I answer your question? Any other questions or anything further, feel free to ask. Okay, sorry guys. GLP has been performing better long term against Sol, would be a safe DLMM. You're probably right. Just know that the only reason that deters me is because the feed generation is so low. Like if JLP just goes down, then I'm cooked. But I know if you're good at you know, predicting like floors and stuff, it's not a bad idea. What is the one thing to know if you should get into a coin? So there's not one thing, but I will say when I'm choosing these tokens, I really want to analyze the idea and the meme behind the chart first, right? It's always good to look at chart because you can see pretty easily whether it's a scam token or not, just based on the volume and the price action. That comes with time and experience, but what you really want to look at is the meme quality. This is something that already had the run, but Fa is an example of a token back in the day. I saw this pretty early. I saw it back here. I didn't take part in it, but after it had this run up, I was interested in bidding this. And the reason I chose this is because I was seeing Fa every single day on Instagram. The sound effect, you know what I mean? That made a lot more sense, and I think the second method is simpler for me. Yes, I think the second method is idea. Love from Dubai, AE bro. How to find 100x coin? Any learning course? The token selection is really I can teach about it, but it's really going to come down to your individual preference and experience and screen time. What I try to teach you guys is how to open these Meteora LPs, these DLMMs. Guys, we have 43 viewers. Please drop a follow. It helps me out so much, and it just encourages me to keep making content. So drop a follow, and also I'm going to promote the Telegram. I don't shill tokens. Never am I ever going to tell you what to buy. Not what I do, but I do try to create a good community for people to hang out in and share their thoughts. So, where are you from? I'm from the east coast of North America. When did you start become profitable? It's been a very, very long journey. It's really hard to say, but I will say that about 2 months into learning Meteora, I was able to be profitable. So I had to understand the basics, and then I just started doing the single-sided LP strategy, and that has just worked out very well over the past year and few months. What's up, Toxic? Saibo. Sorry, Toxic. I missed your comments. Are meme coins still popping like before? They're not popping as much as before, but they're still popping. There's still plays every single day. If you're struggling and you're trading meme coins, definitely check out my videos on how to use Meteora. It's gonna allow you to just be a lot more consistent, a lot more comfortable with having exposure to these meme coins. You don't have to predict the perfect entry and exit. It really, really makes things easier. Sticky Wicket. Yeah. Single strategy LP. What is that? Is that the real Jack Duvall? What if it is? That'd be so funny. it's not. For LPing, what's the best case scenario, and also what do you recommend starting with? You can really start with anything. The only bottleneck is having to pay rent. So when you're entering a pool and you're making wider ranges, you do sometimes have to pay like 0.15, 0.2 SOL is about the most you'll pay to enter a range. But that's really the only bottleneck. Other than that, you can enter with whatever. You can enter with 0.05 SOL. To test it out, you can enter with even lower. You can enter with 0.1. If you enter these pools with a small amount of money, very, very advisable, because you're going to see how price works, how fees are generated, even on a small amount. You know what I mean? And if you are able to be profitable with, $5, you can be profitable with more. So, best case scenario when you're LPing. So, Kabuto. It really, really depends. Usually the best case scenario when you're LPing is that you predict the range perfectly. It comes into here, bounces around for a while, gets very good movement, and then comes back out. You're not always going to hit that. So this is actually too tight of a range for me, especially on this token. I would not go 66% down. It's a little bit too short. I've seen these things go to absolutely zero. I'm super cautious now, so I always make my ranges way wider than I think I should, which is why having that 87% range-ish really allows me to be comfortable, because that accounts for 50% moves down. When you're entering a pool, I go over this a lot, but keep in mind, right, this is minus 50% down. And then another 50% move down is going to be right here. And then another 50% range is going to be right here. So keep in mind, it gets way tighter as you go down. This minus 87% range covers 3 minus 50% ranges down. And 250% moves down is equal to 75%. So that is something you want to keep in mind when you're setting up these ranges, because minus 50% down is nothing for a meme coin. It's really nothing. So that's why I like to go wide. And then another ideal situation is if it comes down like this, gets some movement, hangs around here, gets one spike. If it gets a spike like this in your range, you can usually get out for money. So if you're not super bullish the token, you don't want to hold on, you think it might go lower, this is a good time to get out if you get a spike. So that's the second ideal situation. Dude's my exit liquidity, bro. My exit liquidity. If you can give me the definition of liquidity, I'll give you a follow back. How about that? You're welcome, Volted. Do you know of a bot that will reposition DLMMs? I do. I've never used it. Just because I'm super stingy. I always like to just use the native Meteora API or interface. But HawkFi, I can shout them out. They've been around for a very long time. HawkFi. These guys have auto rebalancing. They do charge a fee, so, and I've had a few friends use this, so I don't mind recommending them, but again, not something I care about super. I have my strategy. It doesn't really correlate all the time with auto rebalancing, so I just usually stay away from that kind of stuff. Don't you like trade with futures? They are much safer. Futures, I don't trade with futures. I have friends that do, but I just don't have as good of a read. I'm not as comfortable trading them. I feel like trading futures is a lot more. You have to be very, very tight with your risk management. On meme coins, I just have a better grasp on everything. I know what good charts and bad charts look like. I can usually decipher coins that have good staying power. So memes are just where I hang around at for now. And like when you're trading futures, obviously you can be profitable. There are people that have done it. You can farm funded accounts, but the issue with trading futures is, think about it. Do you really have an edge against every single other major fund? Like, those trading futures are the most liquid assets on the planet, basically. They're the most liquid markets, and there's such big players in there that you're really at the mercy of everything. You don't really, in my opinion, I don't think the average person really has an edge trading futures, and this is just my personal opinion. There's people out there that are profitable. I have friends that make a good amount doing it, but it's just way harder for me. I don't feel like I have the same edge that I do using Meteor trading meme coins, and that's just why this is what I focus on nowadays. Yeah, agreed, Dave. When the coin goes down and it's in range, you get more of the token and less soul. Is that profitable? Good. Um, so I think what you might be meaning is, sorry, I'm trying to find whatever coin I was drawing on before. So let's say you have a range from here to here, and your liquidity is spread out, hopefully in a bid-ask curve, something like this. Sorry, that's really, really bad. We're gonna make this a little bit more even. All right, so this is your range, right? So as soon as it starts going down into your range, your pool is going to depreciate. So you don't want it necessarily at this bottom bin because you're probably going to be down a good bit because all of these further bins, think about it, all these were initially Solana. Now that it's down from the very first bin that it gets converted to, this is a token sell order. This is token sitting here. It's token sitting here when it goes below this price. So your pool is going to depreciate because these orders up here, these bins are the token, and they're going to depreciate, right? As it goes down, you're getting converted, you're getting converted, you're getting converted. So you definitely don't want something that goes straight down and hangs around here, right? You want something that hangs around here, gets movement up and down, up and down, up and down. So down here, you're right. If you're in a bid ask and it's down here, you're going to get more fee generation because these bins are bigger. So they're going to collect more fees. And conversely, if it hangs around here and comes up, you're not going to get much in fees if it hangs around up here. So you want kind of a happy medium. You don't want it to go all the way towards the bottom of your range. Something like this, right, where it leaves a good bit of your liquidity down here is something where I'd be comfortable in. But once it starts getting down to the bottom of your bins, it gets hairy and you start sweating because your pool value is probably down a good bit and you're wondering if you're going to have to get out and take the loss if it drops below the bottom bin. Because usually what I teach is as soon as it gets out of your bottom bin, you should just withdraw and take the loss because at this point you're just holding the tokens and you're not earning anything. Oh gosh. Okay, I might be heading off soon. I need to keep the sleep schedule on track, you know what I mean? Last question, I'll check the YouTube. Do you prefer spot or bid ask? So, usually I'm going to go bid ask. Usually my sizing, I don't know if you guys know how to do this. Let me do one on Picoyo. We're in range. That's so nice. Yes, 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 yes. Please just wake up tomorrow and just be ripping through. That would bless the portfolio. What was I saying? Spot or bid ask. So when I'm entering, so on this, for example, I think I went 1 soul spot and maybe 4 soul bid ask. But what you can do is, let's say you wanted 1 soul total. So what you might want to do, instead of going all bid ask, if you want a little bit more exposure. So if you think the coin isn't going to dip as low, then you can go more in spot because that means your bins closer up here are going to have more size in them, as opposed to if I went bid ask, obviously the bin right here is not going to get much action if it just hangs around here. So if I enter a bid ask and I want to split up my 1 Solana position, I'm entering this position with 0.8, right? 0.8 is going into the bid ask. After I open this, you can create custom ranges. You can actually layer liquidity on top. So I can go 0.2 and add it in spot to make it all whole and get my desired range. So usually I'm going like 80% bid ask, 20% spot, if that. Sometimes it's 10% spot. But yes, the majority of my positions are going to be mostly bid ask. Brother, I want to learn your strategies, how to find good, more profitable coin. Tell me your channel. Just drop a follow on here. Look through my YouTube. You should be able to find it with the link, and I'll drop the Telegram before I get off. If you want to go ahead and join the group, we have some good people in here. Volted, I assume you're in the Telegram as well. I sent the link. I don't know if you saw that. Thank you a lot for the advice. Have a good night. You too, Volted. Thank you for the good questions. Those were all super, super ideal, and I appreciate that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Join the Telegram. DM me if you have any questions, and I will see you tomorrow, hopefully. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Peace, Noah. Peace, Genmoji. Kalshi. I didn't actually look at that chart. I saw some people, I think, took a loss on that. All right, we can look at Kalshi one more, and then we're actually getting off. I mean, this isn't probably something I would have played initially. I don't know. It shouldn't go to 0, but who knows? It's really hard for me to say here. It's looking kind of Death Cascade-y. Hopefully it gets a bounce, but yeah, that's all I can say. Thank you, Easy Farm, for sending that. All right, I'll see you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. Don't blame it on me.